that sense of freedom almost maybe gives you a sense of comfort
Yeah,
to where you can just slip into that world.
Yeah, there's no resistance or friction, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it. I've never really thought about this. Like, this is really...
Well, that's the
I feel
point
like
of the
I've got a
podcast.
psychologist now. I'm having insights about myself.
Creative Mindset by Robbie Mars.
Oh, welcome to another episode of the Creative Mindset podcast. Today, my guest is one of the driving creative forces behind a large amount of music coming out of Perth right now. He's been a consistent part of the process behind lots of sounds and artists shaping the local scene, and he's worked with over 800 artists in the last 5 years. Daunt, thank you for coming.
Wow, thanks for having me. That's quite an intro. That really gassing me up here.
Thank you as well for letting us do this in the Hive studio where you've been producing music for a couple years now.
Yeah, I've had this studio for about 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, I've extended my lease as well, so we're going to be here for
We
another...
made it.
Yeah, we made it. Yeah, pop some champagne. So I'll be here for another 5 years, so going to be here for a while, so yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
It is such a special vibe in here. Like, I've got a few questions as well about the lighting and some other atmosphere stuff you got going on, but honestly, Dawn, just the energy you have walking in here, I don't know what it is, but you've done something. Maybe it's just the amount of work you've done in here, but there's something about this space.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people do say this. I remember when I told people I was going to be getting a commercial studio. I was recording just in my home studio. They said they really liked the home studio setup, and they didn't want me to kind of go into this kind of sterile, you know. So I really wanted to keep the cozy, low lit, neon vibe because I mean, music can be quite like nerve wracking. You really gotta make yourself vulnerable. So it's nice to have a room where you feel quite like cozy and comfortable.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main focuses of making the space.
That makes so much sense.
So, and also having a spot that looks cool, visually aesthetic, you know? When people, you know, put it on their stories, that's all kind of advertising for me or getting the studio out there. So having a space that looks nice, feels good to be in,
that's so smart,
super important.
Played into the marketing and stuff.
Yeah.
I've got a few questions about the space.
Okay,
but
cool.
I think the first one I'm going to start with is mostly just what made you realize you wanted to do music than more than just a hobby? What made you realize you wanted to do this as a career path?
When I was a kid, when I was about 12, that's probably when I want to be Skrillex. I want to be, you know, being a music producer.
Yeah.
And I think I heard Bangarang and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard in my life. My family's very musical. My older brother's a professional drummer. My other older brother's a band manager. My mum sings, plays clarinet. My dad plays guitar,
so
sings.
this was
very musical
from birth.
family. From birth, I've been surrounded by it. And my older brother was already, I'm going to be a professional drummer. I'm doing music as a career. He's 4 years older, so he was 16 and I was 12. So it was kind of like normalized in my family to pursue a career in music. When I was 17 and I was doing like my ATAR and kind of I was having that get real, you know, you're not going to have a career in music, right?
Yeah.
And then I went to uni and...
What uni you go to?
I went to UWA.
Oh, okay.
And I did nothing to do with music. I did neuroscience and psychology.
No way.
Did my honours degree. And when I graduated, you need another 4 years you need to do your PhD and masters to like pursue a career in that.
Uh-huh.
And it was a big kind of epiphany moment for me. I was just thinking to myself, I just don't think I can do this for another 4 years. And I always knew I wanted to do music, but I was kind of suppressing it, didn't know how I was going to do it. And then COVID hit and I just was sitting around, you know, doing nothing all day, just thinking to myself.
Yeah.
And I kind of just, you know, thought, man, I'll just try. I'll just put an ad up. Because load up FL. I've been making music for 10 years at this point. I'd already been doing shows and knew a lot of people in the music scene.
It was more of just, this is fun. This is just something I'm doing my free time for fun.
I didn't think I would ever be able to do it as a career for sure. But then I just thought, man, I'll just give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out by the time I'm 30, that was like the deadline I gave myself. If I don't make it by 30, I'll reevaluate then and I'll just go back to uni. That was kind of the agreement I gave myself. So yeah, and once I started, I mean, my fiance really motivated me as well. She said, you know, just put the ad up and just see what happens. You got nothing to lose kind of thing. And yeah, once I did that, I got a few bites on Gumtree and that. And some people came to my house, just did a little home studio. And some of those people I still record to this day.
That's awesome.
After like 5 years.
Yeah.
And once I started doing that and seeing, I actually can run a studio and, can actually make money making music for other people.
How long did it take for you to get to that point where you could be like, okay, this can be a career? Like if you started 2020 and you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. How long did it take until you were like, okay, I'm definitely not going back to uni?
Yeah. So I think I was working at a bar at this time. That's how I was through uni. I was working at a bar, and when I was doing my home studio, I was working at a bar, probably doing 4 or 5 days a week, so 30-ish plus hours. So I was pretty much full-time just bartending. And then I would get a couple of clients like doing music a week, and then I could drop a shift because I had, I was getting a couple extra $100, and then I'll get some more people. And then over the course of probably 2 or 3 years, I went from 4 to 5 shifts a week to 1 to 2 shifts a week. Once I quit the bar and I was here and I had a commercial studio, I wasn't doing home studio anymore. That was obviously where I was really locked in.
Yeah.
Like it was a 3-year lease that I signed up for. There's no going back. I'm paying the bills on this place for another 3 years. Even if I have to go back to uni, I can't afford that. So, but at that point, I was already full-time making music.
That's such a smart way of doing it though, bro. The whole, instead of just being like, I'm going to quit my job and do music full time, you were like, okay, let me actually just mathematically
just
slowly move into this new life of, okay, I can just full time make music instead of, because I feel like a lot of people may have that of, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to do this. And then there's the whole starving artist and stuff like that. But you were like, no, I'm going to still like live while I'm transitioning into this new phase.
I definitely agree with that. And I think it's a big mistake because we all know the arts is very expensive. Yeah. Obviously, studio time is expensive, but for me to build this studio was incredibly expensive. It was very expensive, and the rent on it is expensive, and all the gear, it really adds up. So if I wasn't working 2 jobs to make that work and to fund it, I wouldn't have been able to fund myself building a commercial studio and taking that plunge. So I really think it is important that you have a foundation, stable, solid income while you pursue your dreams. I think it's one of those cliches which is often goes wrong where I'm going to quit everything, I'm going to pursue full time. It can be good in some essences, like to motivate you, I guess, in some ways. But really, I think you need to have enough time to pursue it. You can't have a job that takes up all your time and energy. I agree with that. But something that's a bit more flexible, but that can pay your bills and, keep you going while you pursue your dreams. I think everyone has to have that. Yeah. I think it's, especially in this economy, rent and
cost
everything,
of living,
right? Cost of living. You've got to have you got to have something that's paying the bills.
For sure. Yeah. But what we first met, when you did the music for Criminal Helpline, you were sitting there and I was sitting here.
Yep.
He came in, I was like, okay, Wesley Black told me about you. He said you were the best. I'm like, okay, let's do this.
Right, the best.
I said, who do you recommend for the music for the film? He only recommended you. He was like, this is your guy to do the music for the film.
Damn, I appreciate that. Thanks.
And, I came in, I didn't want to waste any time. So I came in knowing as much information about the reference track as possible because I was like, okay, I want to do something very similar to this. And I even researched like the beats per minute because I was like, okay, I'm just going to come in with all the information so we can just hit the ground running. And we sat down and I played you the song and literally you were just nodding your head listening to the song. And within 10 seconds, you just turned to me and went, it's 124 beats per minute. And then went back to Bob and and I was like, well, how have you just done that? And then 30 seconds goes by and the first section of the song stops and you pause it and you grab a guitar and you perfectly played the song. For the first time listening. And I was, even though I just saw it happen with my own eyes, I still had to ask you, how did you do that? Like it was a magic trick. I said, how have you, what's going on here?
I studied before. I knew you were coming in.
Literally, it looked like magic. I was like, how have you just in front of my eyes, you pulled a rabbit out of a hat. How have you done this? Have you always just had an inherent skill for this? Or has that come from just working for over a decade?
Yeah, it's definitely time. I mean, obviously, coming from a musical family, I've been surrounded by music, so I do understand music, or I had a good starting point. When I calculate, they say like the 10,000 hours thing, And I think last time I calculated it, I think I've been on FL Studio for over 20,000 hours. So I'm just so entrenched in the software. And I mean, when you get a song, you can like see the waveform. And most of the time I can just figure out the BPM from that. I can just instantly drag and just see where it aligns on the grid and I go, yep, 124. Obviously I can probably get from ear, I could probably get like a 10 BPM range. Oh, that's 120 to 130. Yeah. I don't think I could be like 126, like that would be pretty crazy. And then I guess for the melody stuff, like, I mean, there's only 7 notes in a scale. So it's, you kind of hear it and you just go, oh, well, I know.
Yeah, but
I'm not like Charlie Puth where I've got the perfect pitch thing, but you can, most musicians if they've been playing their instrument for like years.
It's still insane though. You say it like it's so simple. You're like, Robert, there's only 7 notes. I'm like, oh, chuck us a guitar. I'll give it a go. Like that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like that for everything though, right? You do something a lot and then you just get quicker at it and stuff. I'm sure if I tried to do some video editing stuff or some film things, I would just be pulling my hair out for 3 hours and you just go click, click.
Well, bro, you had, when we were using FL Studios, you like whenever you would click onto a new thing to add to the song and the pop-up bar would come up, so the pop-up bar would come up, you would click something on it and click it off before it even fully came onto the screen. Like I had absolutely no idea what you were doing because it moved so fast. And I asked you, I was like, have you just been using this for so long? You know exactly where all the little sliders are on the screen. And you were like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, that efficiency must come, because obviously knowing the technical skill, like using FL Studios, that comes with time because it's just the layout. You got to learn the layout. But just almost like the ear and timing, that is just something I feel like within. Like, I feel like while you can do it, if someone did it for 25, I mean, fuck, you'd hope if they had 25,000 hours they could do it. Just how there's efficiency and the swiftness with how you worked, bro, it made me realize I was working too slow. I was like, if this what Daunt does in an hour, like, this is insane. Just the quickness you were moving at everything. There was no like, oh, what should we do now? And you're like, slowly moving the mouse around, or you're like, all right, let me grab the guitar, and you're slowly playing the guitar. Everything was just moving so quickly, and it made me realize, okay, especially if you're going to charge by the hour, this is what you need to be doing. You need to be working at 100 miles per hour in the hour. But my next question was, with music, there's always so much things that you can add. How do you know when a track is finished?
It's a good question.
Thanks, we got one.
There's always the chase for the perfect song, right? You get the law of diminishing returns where you reach this point where you go, we spent 5 hours on this track, I've spent another 5 hours on this track, and I think we just made it worse. It can be hard to know. I just think if you listen to a song and nothing sounds like it needs to be fixed, and you have no ideas of things that could be added, then it's probably done.
And is that a skill that you've developed over time, though, like that confidence?
I guess so. It's also taste and stuff too. Yeah, it's kind of one of those subjective things, right? There's not really a definitive answer I'm sure that some people might want to add more, some people want to add less. It just... yeah,
does it come down to style as well? Like some producers might just add like 100 tracks.
Yeah.
Whereas some might keep it to 20 or around that range.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at popular music or platinum records and stuff, there's platinum records where there's 5 tracks. It's just vocals, drums, bass, and whatever. That's it. And then there's others where there's 100 and something. Yeah. So it just, really depends
comes down
on
to style.
Yeah, style, what the song needs, what you're trying to achieve with the song, what message do you want to convey, all that kind of stuff. You never really know.
Yeah.
I think the song sounds great and I'm happy with it, so the song's done.
It's done,
You know?
Yeah.
You could keep going forever.
Yeah.
If you don't, I think you have to have that mindset a bit where there's no such thing as perfect. So if it sounds great, then it sounds great.
And when you sit down to start a song, what is your bedrock? So is it emotion? Is it melody? Is it drums? What is the antithesis of all of your songs? How does it always start for you?
Years ago, I was quite drum focused, whereas now I think I'm much more melody, emotion focused. Especially if someone plays you a reference song or they say they want something that's dark or they want something that's moody or cinematic or any of those things. Like instantly certain chords and melodies are going to come into my head. It would be probably the melodies and the chords first. And
So you build it up from emotion.
and I'll build it from that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll build it mainly a chord progression, probably. I'll probably start with a chord progression because that's the bedrock of what emotion or story you're going to tell. You want it to be uplifting or sad or whatever. And then once you hear the chords, a melody will pop into your head. And then once you have the melody and the chords, a bass will pop into your heads, and then the drums will come to you, and then it all just organically you'll just hear it.
How much of your music is emotion over technical skill?
It's a good question. It's very good.
I appreciate it. The last year no one said that, so I'm like, yes, we've got two in already. Let's go.
I think that
I was fully my girlfriend's question as well. I got to say thank you, Caitlin.
Shout out. I think in Perth, there's not a huge scene. In LA, there'll be 10 different producers or people working on a track. Here it's just me. So I'll have to put my creative emotion hat on and I'll make a beat. And then I'll put my mixing hat on and now it's technical. And I mix it, I get the drums right, I set up my side chains, I EQ it all. And then they'll record. And then again, it's the technical side of recording. And then it's creative. What effects do we put on it? Do you know what I mean? You kind of got to do, they're two different stages almost.
How do you transition in between those two stages to where one doesn't negatively impact the other?
I don't know. It kind of just goes back to what we were saying before. I'm just so lost in the sauce. It's just instant.
Yeah.
I just hear something I don't like, I'll mix it. And then a melody upon my head, I just put it in. Then I hear a guitar, I just chuck a guitar in. And then I'll just...
Where do you think those ideas come from?
I mean, if you think of how much music everyone listens to in their life, you've probably heard this melody somewhere in the past or something in a similar song, but you've Chinese whispered it and now it's a kind of not quite true to what it was. You're remembering it incorrectly, but then it's made it something new now. And you kind of, I guess it is just, you're kind of recycling these ideas that have been floating in your subconscious and they just come to you.
And do you reckon maybe creative ideas then are misremembered memories?
Kind of, yeah. That's my theory.
Yeah, that's your theory? Because I've heard, I can't remember who told me, but someone told me that ideas, they said something like ideas aren't always original. Like almost like ideas are out there, almost like a energy wave. And if you don't grab onto it and put it into real life, someone else is going to get that idea and put it into
what's
real
that book? The Creative Act by...
Maybe, I have no idea.
Oh, I'm having a mind blank
Dyslexic
now.
AF.
Who's that really famous producer who works like with Kanye and all that?
Metro?
No, it's like the old guy.
Dre?
Chat, not chat, or YouTube comments, they're going to destroy me right now. Rick Rubin, I think.
Oh, yeah.
He has a book, The Creative Act. And I think it might be him.
He talks about how there's ideas that
There's
are going to be out
energy
there.
and like you grasp onto it. And
Because even in the MJ movie, there's a scene where he's in the pool trying to think of ideas and his brothers are like, come play. And he's like, if I don't write this down now, God will give it to Prince. And he truly believed that if he didn't take on those ideas in the moment when they were given to him, then Prince would get them instead.
Wow.
I feel like as well, because there'll be sometimes I'll have an idea for a scene or a movie and I just years go by, I didn't do it. And then something similar will come out and it'll be like so similar to what the ideas, and I've spoken to a few people and they felt the exact same.
Yeah.
Have you had that where you had an idea for a song and maybe you just didn't act on it or whatever, or a concept, and then someone else in the world has done something very similar?
I do believe in the whole, if I don't do it now, the idea will never come to me again and I'll never be able to get the same sound that I was
Really?
about to get. I am big on that in the moment. Every
Like
time. Yeah, you can't ever, the exact energy and just the vibe you got in that moment, you'll never be able to recreate.
Like a flow state?
Kind of, yeah. You'll never be able to recreate.
What do you think gets you into that situation?
I'm pretty automatic now with my flow state. Like, I think I kind of just...
Bro, teach me.
I guess,
did you get to that?
I feel like if I was on my own and someone was like, make me a song, I would really struggle. Whereas if someone goes, I want this, or I want to convey this idea or this emotion or this song. If someone gives me a starting point, and also I have with every artist, I'll have an idea of what kind of music they make, how their voice sounds, what they like melodically and stuff. So I have all this info to kind of go off. And then so someone gives me an idea and I can just go bang and I'll make something. And then I'll just be flow state because once I add one thing, another idea comes, another idea, and it just comes through.
Let's say you've just had like a bad day and your mind might be thinking about something else. How do you snap into that flow state?
It's like what you were saying before with me playing the instrument. Once I hear something, instantly my brain will just start analyzing it. What chords have they used? What is this? And it's automatic. I can't even control it. Like if someone was trying to talk to me, I would probably struggle. And sometimes I do feel bad about that. People trying to talk to me in a session and I'll just be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, sorry, what was that?
Yeah.
And then,
it happened a couple of times. So I was like, I'll leave him alone.
Yeah. He's locked in, you know?
Yeah.
I do get like that. It's very, it's just very automatic. I kind of, my missus reckons I have ADHD, like maybe I do. If
it works, it works.
Yeah, if
you
it
know
works,
what
it
I
works. It's a superpower in some aspects.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think the ideas just come. I don't really have to force them. So,
And do you reckon that's the same as when you were working, let's say when you were working in your home studio, were you able to still get into the flow state as accessible?
I think, yeah, probably.
So it doesn't really matter where you are.
Nah, I think it's just the music, really. I think I've always had that. Like when I was a kid, I would just sit on FL for like 6 hours, just at home on my own.
Yeah.
I've always just been super.
So you just have it. You just have it. Like there's no, like, because one of my questions was, are there any like habits or rituals that you do to get into that flow state? But for you, it's just sit in front of the computer and we're there kind of thing, and you're just off.
Yeah, it really is, I think. I
That's
never really
special,
thought
bro.
about it that much.
That's special.
I never really thought about it that much.
Because like for me, with writing, right now writing a feature film, sometimes I'll sit in the garage, which has become like the new office. Sometimes it'll just be going. You'll just be going.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you're like slugging along.
Yeah.
It's just like, and do you have that where you're just slugging along?
Oh, for sure. For everything else in my life, 100%.
Not for music.
Yeah, so let's say I'm practicing guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slog, or practicing piano. And I got really motivate myself to get there. And I've studied like Japanese and stuff. And sometimes I'll be really into it. And other times I'm like, oh, nothing's sticking. Like, this is brutal. I know exactly what you're talking about. And when I used to study, sometimes I'll be doing great. Sometimes I'll be, how do I get in that flow state again? Nah, music is definitely on FL. Yeah. Just on FL. I've been doing it for so long that I'm 100% free in the software. I don't have to, if you play me a sound or someone wants a certain effect, I don't have to think of like the technical, how do I achieve this sound? I already probably know. The ideas can come and I don't have to stop and think about how to enact them. I can just
And that sense of freedom.
Yeah, kind of.
Maybe opens up
the
mind to where, because you have that 20,000 hours more than anything else you've done.
Yeah.
That sense of freedom almost maybe gives you a sense of comfort to where
I
you
guess
can just slip into that world.
Yeah, there's no resistance or friction, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe that is it. I've never really thought about this. Like, this is really...
Well, that's the
I feel
point
like
of the
I've got
podcast.
a psychologist. I'm having insights about myself.
A big point of this podcast is to see if there are any similarities in the creative process between different creative disciplines. So, for example, right now you're a music producer. The last person I interviewed was a martial artist.
Oh, wow.
The person before that was Ollie, the producer for Helpline, another filmmaker, writer. And it's to see if there's any similarities especially with getting into the flow state. Because if there was a way to get into the flow state on command,
Magic pill.
and have that elevated work just accessible and able to unlock in your own brain, I'd want that.
I think that you need to be able to... It's all got to be automatic or second nature. Like, you can't have
Because it feels like that when you're in the flow state with whatever you're doing. It does feel like it's automatic and second nature, and you don't have to think about that.
You're not
stuff.
thinking. You're 100% present. All you're thinking about is what's next in the task that you're doing. You're not worrying about... It's like what you said before about you had a bad day. I won't think about what I've done. Like, I won't think about anything. I mean, maybe something really bad has happened, but 90% of the time, if it's just your general day-to-day, stuck in traffic, something really frustrating happened.
You just leave it at the door.
Yeah, I'll just be fully immersed. As soon as I get into FL, but yeah, it's just automatic. If someone, because whenever I hear something, I'll go, oh, we could add this, that could be fun. Oh, we could add that, that could be cool.
Yeah.
Just try that. And that's all I'm thinking about.
Well, I was going to ask as well. So you're obviously in the studio for many hours a day working on music. When you're not in the studio, are you still constantly hearing music inside your head?
Am I hearing it? Yes and no. I wouldn't say that I hear it more than anyone else.
I feel like I constantly have a song playing in my head.
Yeah, I feel like we all do, don't we?
Oh no, some people
Just
don't.
some annoying
Some
song
people
ringing.
don't.
Okay, maybe some people don't, but I feel like it's quite normal
Okay.
to just have a song. Like you say you do.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people would just, they got Sabrina Carpenter stuck in their head or whatever's
I
on
got
the
some
radio.
Childish Gambino right now.
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. I think that's pretty normal. I mean, I will have it for music I've made in sessions, definitely. If someone's made a real catchy song in the session, that'll be stuck in my head.
So you like as you mentioned before, you like to work. You prefer to work with another artist in the studio.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a great collaboration?
That's a good question again.
Free for free. Let's go.
Great. I think probably being open for it to sound bad before it sounds good is big. I know sometimes you can collaborate with people and they'll maybe shut an idea down before you've given it a shot. Yeah, having a mindset of just trying random stuff is really good. Obviously, having a kind of clear idea of what you want is very helpful for me. Having an idea of a clear sound or like references of what kind of vibe you're trying to achieve makes it a lot easier for me, because someone might say they want dark, but that could mean a million things depending on who it is. That could mean piano, that could mean synth, that could mean bass, that could mean anything.
And in terms of like energy, you have to meet a lot of new people.
Yeah.
For the first time a lot.
Yeah.
Which can be kind of daunting to some people.
Yeah.
Pun not intended.
Yeah. I'm very scary. You know me. I'm a scary guy.
I guess if someone comes in with maybe not the best attitude, but you're trying to still uphold your quality of service, how do you deal with that situation?
It's pretty rare for me these days.
People just come in with a good vibe.
Most of the time, because it's all word of mouth. I don't advertise. People only know me from someone. They've always been recommended by someone.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get through Google, but it's pretty rare. Most of the time it's from a recommendation, which already, you know, they're probably going to be good because it's a friend of a friend. Back when I had a home studio, I would have it more because people will kind of see you as, there's this guy serious, it's just a hobby, he's just doing it out of his home, he's not the real deal. But now that I have a commercial space, people go, oh wow, this guy must be doing something. Yeah. So people, I think it brings a different perspective or attitude for people.
If you say you're in a session with another artist and you guys kind of hit a wall, let's say you have different ideas or whatever you're trying, the more wood you put on the fire, the less it's getting good.
Yeah.
How do you get yourself out of that rut? How do you inspire creative ideas?
Just start a different track.
Just start again?
That's what I think. Because you
Yeah.
can always come back to it. And when you listen to something with fresh ears, you'll get ideas.
Throughout your career, starting from the home studio to now Hive, I'm sure you've dealt with some setbacks throughout your career. How have you dealt with setbacks to push you forward through your career?
I mean, I guess everyone has their failures and stuff, and you just got to learn from them. I think back when I started, I definitely had a few people who didn't provide the service that they were looking for, but that's fine. You can't let it damage your ego or make you think you're not good anymore. You just got to improve and figure out how you can be better for next time and those issues. And it's also kind of the running a business thing of I'm just a musician, so I'm trying to figure out how to run a business, and from that aspect, that was a whole new thing as well. And, you know, a lot of admin and tax and headaches and stressing out that I'm not going to meet the deadlines that the ATO wants me to and things. As I say, you just learn from it. And
how did you deal with it emotionally? Because I'm sure it can be quite upsetting in the moment.
I feel like I'm quite lucky. I have a good support network. I have a loving fiance, great family. It's good for me as well. My older brother is also a musician, so he gets it. And he also runs, he's a sole trader, as well. So all of the tax stuff, he was straight from the start, do this, set up your bank this way. And So I did have a lot of help along the way.
And then probably encouragement when things aren't going good. So you've got
Yeah,
those people.
I was very fortunate. I know a lot of creatives have to win over their family. You know, their family is the ones saying, get a real job, you know? So I kind of had the reverse where I was almost, my family was around me saying, go for it, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's so unique.
which is very unique, which is very uncommon. So I think I was very lucky. I was very blessed in that sense. I think my journey to doing it was, I had failures and hardship like everyone, but I think I had a lot of support as well. I can't undermine that as well.
Yeah.
You know, I have to
Yeah.
definitely acknowledge that I have a lot of
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to my family and my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
So
One thing you mentioned earlier as well was the design of the studio.
yeah,
How do you think, because it's so cool,
thank you.
how do you think the design has affected the music you make? Like, for example, if the design was completely different, do you think your music would be different?
Yeah, I do, for sure. It's like what I was saying before with in that exact moment, you'll never recreate that. I think if I was in a glass room down in Margaret River looking at some vineyards, I would make different music. Or if someone brought me an idea, I would think of it differently. You definitely feed off the environment and the atmosphere around you. So, which is also why I think it would be cool to have a very different studio. This studio is like a spaceship. That's what I wanted. I wanted to feel like you could be flying
In another world.
to another world. Yeah.
Or just anywhere in the world, because there's no windows.
Yeah, it's no windows. It's fully dimmed, like blacked out, no light. I'm a bit of a vampire in here. I think it definitely does influence the music that I make.
What made you pick this color choice?
I mean, I love the matte black, like dark. I could never have my house like this. You know,
Oh, yeah.
my fiance would never let me do that, but probably for good reason. But I just love
Be
it.
tough at night trying to get around. You're like,
Yeah.
"Fuck this, where is
All right.
anything?"
I love it though. I think it looks so aesthetic and it's really cool. So it was fun for me to just fully create a vibe that I could never really have in any other setting. All fully blacked out, all neon lit.
But for example, if that purple light was red,
Yeah,
you'd make different music.
probably.
So how do you know that the purple light is the best choice?
Well, I did a vote for that. Do you know that?
No.
So I had a blue one originally because ice blue is like my favorite color. So I went with ice blue because that's just what, you know, my gut was telling me.
Yeah.
And then that one broke. So I put up a poll and I said, all right, guys, do I go purple, like ice blue or red for the neon? And the votes were in. Purple got the highest amount of votes. So I went with that. And that was pretty much it. I let the energy of the people decide, I guess. I put it up to the universe.
The people will decide.
Yeah, I put it up to the universe. I couldn't make the call myself.
Yeah.
I think it looks great. I think it's a
love
really
it, bro.
cool color and a really
I
cool
love
vibes. The people made the right choice.
Yeah.
You know, it is a big responsibility, I guess.
And in 5 years, when the lease runs out and you may move on to another space, do you reckon you'll design it differently?
I mean, I might want something similar. I really do like the blacked out, but something maybe more industrial or something with maybe some more plants, I think could be cool.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, bit of oxygen.
Yeah.
As I said, I would love to have a getaway Airbnb studio down south
I
somewhere.
think Tame Impala does that.
I think they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
He
think
has
he
like a
does. I think he
studio in
does.
Margaret River or something.
Yeah. I
It's just so
think I've seen
interesting
those.
though. Like you definitely believe then the design of the environment that you're working in has an impact on the work you create.
Yeah.
Let's say you were producing a song at Kings Park
Yeah.
with your laptop on FL.
Yeah.
Different song.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
that's important. That's something that, like, again, with the podcast is very interesting. That's something I ask all my guests is, have you noticed a difference in the music you create compared to where you're working?
Yeah.
So how different was the music that you create here compared to when you were at your home studio?
The thing is that I guess I don't know. You making music is kind of this automatic subconscious thing where there's all these thoughts or influences or ideas floating around and you're just randomly grabbing at them. And that pool of ideas will be different for wherever you're at. If you're in Kings Park, certain thoughts, feelings, emotions, ideas, memories will be floating in your subconscious when you're there. So when you pull on them, they're going to be different. I could never say that making music here makes my music more futuristic. I mean, possibly it does because it's like a spaceship, but I can't know that for certain. I just know that wherever you're at is going to have an impact on your music. You might not know why or how, and you can't really control it, but you got to be aware of it.
Because even for like songwriting, I've asked people, have you noticed a difference in how you write a song compared to where you are? And like if you went to a place that had significant emotional impact and just sitting in that energy, how that affects the song.
It would, yeah.
And I think maybe because you've been in here for a few years now and you've had so much success in the room, just the energy is almost like it feels different walking in here from when I was outside to when I'm in this room. There's something special like in the air. Like
That's really cool that you think that, yeah.
100%. Like even just walking in before I set anything up, I was like, it's just nice to be back in here as well.
Yeah.
Like, I think what you said about the comfortability, I mean, you got the sofa, you got this soundproof padding, and then you got the music, like the microphone in there. If someone was wondering how they could develop not a safe space, but a successfully creative environment, what advice would you give them?
Obviously, certain things, the dim lighting, the cool lighting, colors, stuff like that will make an impact. I think if it was really bright and white, like a laboratory, you would feel very exposed. You wouldn't feel very comfortable.
So there has to be comfort.
I mean, when people go to like clubs, right? And then the lights come on at the end and it's like, oh my God, like what? And everyone, geez, I look shambles. Like, what the hell's going on? Whereas before when the lights were really dim and there was the music playing, you were in a vibe. And I mean, that doesn't have to be neons. Like, that could be candles or that kind of warm orange ambient lighting or stuff like that. You could get a nice, cool lo-fi, maybe industrial vibe or something.
Do you reckon as well to maximize the space, only do what the room... So, for example, you don't use this room for anything else besides making music. Like, do you reckon that plays a part in it as well? That when you come in here, this spaceship is designed for making music.
Yeah.
There's no, you don't like do other work in here. There's no, you don't do like grocery shopping in here.
No.
Like it's literally just that contained creative space.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that plays a role in it as well?
I'm pretty sure they've studied this a bit. There's a bit of science, of research. Like,
I need to find the links.
I swear I've read a book about that.
No way.
Where it was kind of saying...
You got to put me on your book game, bro. Oh, what are you saying about that?
I haven't
Rick
read that
Rubin one
many.
as well?
Atomic Habits is the one that I remember the most clearly. I also read one that was The Organized Mind. That might have been the one that said it. But essentially, like, if you can kind of segregate your activities to like certain rooms and things, it can make you more productive because there's obviously less distractions and you can get in the flow state easier and things. This room is for music. Well, as soon as you walk in, as I say, it might be the acoustics, you know. It's like when you walk in, the room sounds different. It feels different. The air moves differently in here. So you're going to instantly have this like, wow, kind of feeling, or like
Atmosphere
takes
is
your breath away
literally
almost, or
different.
something. Yeah. Like when you go in the booth and it's fully dead, you know, you can hear a heartbeat. You're like, you know, it's like a strange feeling. A room set up specifically for one task really makes it easier. There's no distractions. You know, you're in here for music and that's what you're going to do.
Some songs just completely break through everything, break through the noise. Like an example that springs to my head is the latest Bad Bunny album. Songs in Spanish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still listening. I don't even know what he's saying.
Yeah.
But it's the biggest song in the world. He's doing the Super Bowl. He's winning Grammys.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a song break through everything, breaks through genre? What do you think is special about those songs?
This is a good question again. This is another good
I don't know
one.
how many we were at, but let's go.
That's like 5 or something,
maybe,
is it? I don't know. That's pretty good. We did it.
These fucking cameras keep dodging.
Obviously, the song has to be good. It has to connect with people, having some sort of like meaning behind it. I like that you say how you don't even know what he's saying, but you still can feel the emotion.
Which makes me think it's not about the lyrics.
Yeah, I agree. I'm actually very big on this. I don't really hear lyrics much. I never remember lyrics. I'm one of those people who I'll have listened to the song 100 times. I don't remember any of the lyrics.
Wow.
People always ask me, oh, did you get that bar? Did you get that little like rhyme I put there? I'm like, what rhyme? I didn't remember that.
I'm not even listening.
Because all I'm focused on is the timing, the pitch, the emotion, the energy, the volume, just the overall delivery, where that sits on the beat. You know, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about from a purely musical. If this was all in another language, does it sound good? Does it sonically sound good to my ears? That's what I'm most worried about. The lyrics can really connect with you if it's like a shared experience and someone can really relate. that can obviously kind of take it to the next level. I'm sure a lot of Spanish people might enjoy those songs
For sure.
in another level to you. So I think lyrics are very important, but I think lyrics are almost the icing on top. You got to have the foundation, the cake has got to be. Because you can say some really profound, cool poetry completely out of time over a beat and it sounds awful,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Whereas you can say some really stupid stuff over a beat and it can sound incredible.
Goes
Like, think
crazy.
of how many hits there are where they're saying the dumbest things, right? But the song's catchy and it's good.
Yeah.
It's musically good. And that's what matters.
So you reckon sonically,
Yeah,
the minimum is it has to sonically sound good to your ear?
definitely.
Outside of lyrics, is there any way or anything that you can do to further almost guarantee that it will be a hit and connects with people?
I mean, guarantee it'll be a hit is impossible, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no
true.
one, everyone wants to do this, make a hit,
What's
but
the secret sauce?
it's not true. I mean, obviously, labels, promotion, money, marketing, there's a
Inflated
lot that
streams.
goes into the back end, pushes something to blow up or become successful. There's a lot of the TikTok blow ups now, and there's a whole different kind of economy for it now where, you know, you really need a 6-second catchy moment that people can use on a reel or a TikTok, and then that'll blow up the song versus having a 4-minute long masterpiece where it used to be like that. Now it's much more short attention, something catchy. You really want that simple but magic. Like, there's certain songs where you hear them and it's just like not even that complicated, but it's just magic.
Yeah.
Just that 6 seconds, you're just hooked. You just want to listen to that all day.
Have you noticed a change, like you mentioned TikTok, have you noticed a change in music production over the course of your career?
Yeah, songs have been shorter and shorter.
For sure, like definitely, like
Yeah.
they're just consistently beginning shorter.
Yeah, like everyone's trying to make shorter songs now.
What was like an average song maybe 10 years ago compared to now?
People used to aim for 3 minutes. That was like a good starting point. Now people want 2. Sometimes people want less than 2.
Is that just for repeatability as well, maybe?
Yeah, probably. I think
get
too,
more
because
streams?
you get more streams.
Yeah.
So there's like lots of reasons why. Also, let's say you have a really good verse and let's say you have 2 really good verses. That could be 2 songs for you, kind of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you double your chances, roll the dice twice
Yeah.
versus just having both verses on one song? For an artist that is trying to blow up or like is in that building phase where they don't have an established big audience, you've got to have more volume of work, more catchy, because people don't know you. They're only going to give you 5 seconds of their time. Whereas if everyone knows Drake, he dropped 3 albums, you know, and everyone listens to them all because they know him and they're going to give him time.
Yeah.
You have to keep that in mind when you're making your songs.
Is there any advice that a producer or a musician, when you were coming up, is there any advice or any wisdom that you heard from any of those that really helped you with your career?
I mean, the one that comes to mind is probably Skrillex. Just his philosophy of he kind of just made what he thought was cool. And then everyone was hating on him. He was making dubstep and everyone was saying, oh, it's transforming, it's washing machines having sex and whatever, you know what I mean? They're saying all this hate, right?
Yeah.
And he just made it because he thought it was cool. And then he dropped this kind of like pop stuff with Justin Bieber. Oh, he's a sellout. He's not making dub. Where's the drop? Hate. And then he went and now he's making like house or something with Fred again or whatever. And then, oh, you know, like he used to have meaning in his music. Now it's just a 4 on the floor drum. You know, whatever. He's always doing his thing and everyone's chatting and he just makes what he thinks is cool and he just doesn't worry about any of the politics of it all. And I think it's like a very good philosophy for like being a creative in any space.
Just trust your instincts. And
Yeah,
and
you're always
make-
gonna get
make
hate.
What you think is cool.
Yeah.
Because in filmmaking, a lot of people say, make the film that you'd want to watch. So with music, is it kind of make the song
Exactly
you
the
want
same.
to hear?
I would say exactly the same. Like what do you wish there was more of in the world? In the music.
It helps being in a comfortable place. The last guy who I interviewed he's a world champion Muay Thai fighter.
Yeah, wow.
And I asked, he's just my boss. He's one of the guys I do.
That's
videography for.
crazy.
Yeah. One of my questions was, let's say he trains at 2 gyms. Did he notice a difference in how he trained comparing at the gym? And he said, yeah. And I was like, well, what made you train better at one? And he said, the environment, like the people who you're training with, if they're friends, you're going to have more of a good time and all of that. And it was like what you said about that comfort. So, and especially what you said about how building a space and how how the air is literally different. Yeah. Like, I didn't even think about that, but yeah, you're right. The ventilation is different in here. So the atmosphere is physically different.
Yeah.
And because you've turned that space into, when the air is like this, I make fucking cold music. Coming in,
Yeah.
everyone feels that.
Yeah.
You walk in and it's almost like you're walking taller.
Yeah.
Because you're like, we're in a different location.
Yeah.
Now. We're in a different space.
Definitely.
And I feel like that really translates
For sure.
into what music you make. And it's made me realize, because right now I'm working in the garage because, girlfriend's moved in. So I needed a man cave.
Yeah.
So I'm in the garage now. And I've put a desk in there. And one thing I fucking love about your lights, bro, is when I moved here 4 years ago, I lived on Murdoch campus in the uni village. And I had half the room, I had the LED lights were purple. And half the room was blue. Which is why I really fucked with this room. Because it reminded me so much. I called it the Lavender Haze. One of the very first podcasts I did with Wes, when I asked him, do you reckon that plays a part if you had a red light or a blue light or something like that, how that makes a difference? And he wasn't sure at the time. I've asked you now and you said, yeah, definitely, like it plays a part. And building that level of comfort, feel like I definitely need to do that. I need to fucking like soup up the garage a bit more
you
so
do.
it has that level of comfort. You know what I mean? Like,
Kind of on that note, where when I was building the studio, I was like, I want people, because especially in rap, which is my main demographic, rap is all about confidence, and people want to like feel cool and look cool, and they're like, I'm the man, I'm him, I've got the money and the whatever, right? You want people to come in here and be like, I recorded a proper studio, like I'm a legit. It's like if someone went into like one of the $1 million Sony studios, they'd be like, I've made it. They haven't even made the song yet. You know, they haven't even made a song, but they would feel that sense of I'm him just by being in here.
For sure.
And I think that's something that I wanted, where it's like, when you walk in here, you're like,
and it gives it to you as well. Compared to when you were in the home studio, you now come in here and you're like, okay, I'm not doing this in my
This isn't a hobby anymore. This is like, you're in a proper space.
Professional.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Definitely, mate. Definitely.
Yeah. No, I definitely am like, because writing in the garage has been fun. It's definitely allowed me to write more.
Yeah.
Just having that designated space for it.
For sure.
But it still is in my garage in my house. Like having another like space. Designated writing space.
I mean, you can. I mean, even just making it more aesthetic, you know, and just making it like a vibe.
I put up the LED lights and stuff. I've got.
Put them in there, man. Put candles in there and shit. Like, get those what is it? Those like star lights. You know, the night sky ones where like the whole they do like the nebulas and stuff. Like just random stuff like that. Like it can be like a $30 Amazon Temu thing, you know, but just something so that you can. Also, that I like the ritual of here. Like when I come in, it's like lights on, outside light, You kind of like boot everything up, and now you're like, okay, now I'm ready. And I guess even like having that little ritual of.
So there is kind of like a little bit of a ritual?
Well, yeah, I guess like booting everything up and turning it all off is a little bit inconvenient. Like it takes me a couple of minutes because I have to like turn all of that on, turn that on, turn that on, turn that on, come down, turn both the neons on, turn the PC on, turn the speakers on, turn my interface on, go in, turn the booth on, right? Turn the TV on. So there's enough things that it like kind of takes me like a minute or two. You know, that kind of resistance concept where if I was to stop and leave, I would have to turn all of that off. It's kind of annoying. So I might as well just keep on for a little bit longer. Dude. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas if you can walk in and out and nothing, all you've got is your laptop, walk in, sit down, do it, walk out, do it. There's no setup or pack up, which doesn't lock you in. Whereas sometimes having a little bit of it only has to be a minute or two, because too much will stop you doing. But just having a little bit of a setup, just turning the neon on, turning the light on, setting it up. Okay, now I'm ready. And then now you can go.
And do you feel your mindset changing from before you set everything up to when you've set everything up?
Yeah. Now you're like, everything's ready. Let me begin. And then when you stop, you can't just walk out of the room. It's not that easy. You have to turn everything off again. You have to pack down. So you've kind of got, I could do it. I've got 15 minutes to do, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow. But then you go, I might as well, because then I'm going to have to turn everything. I'm going to have to reset up the space and stuff. So I might as well just smash down now.
Yeah. Kind of like secure.
Yeah.
In a way, because you're like, okay, I've set everything up. We've powered up. Now we're ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas before, if it was just like you said, walk in, put the laptop down. I'm not really feeling it today.
Yeah,
and
let me
just
walk out. It's too easy to leave. Yeah.
So you got to make it hard to not just leave.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But as I say, it only has to be a minute. It can be 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be...
Just too inconvenient.
Slightly inconvenient.
Yeah.
Just ever so slightly inconvenient. Once I turn everything off, someone messaged me, oh man, like, can you quickly do this for me? I go, sorry, bro, I got to do it tomorrow because I'm already out of here. I'm done. it's like work. You clock in, you clock out. You know, you got to respect that. So
Having that power up.
yeah, that power up, power down. You
Yeah.
got to, and then so you have your online hours and you have your offline hours. I think
Yeah.
that's very important. Not working 24/7 because it's impossible.
Say there's someone who wants to get into music producing. Let's say Perth.
Mm-hmm.
Someone who wants to get into music producing in Perth. What would be the best advice from someone who went from scratch to now full-fledged career in the business? What advice would you give to them?
I guess I would say just start, just do it. Obviously, you need to be good at what you're doing. You need to know what you're doing. I guess if you start too early, you could burn bridges, or like people might think, oh, he's not that good, and you might improve over that year, but
They already have that opinion.
they already have that opinion of you. It can be hard to change, especially Perth is very reputation. It's very small. Everyone knows each other. But in saying that, I think you do have to back yourself, and you do have to understand that you will have, like we said before, those failures. You might not provide what they want, and that's fine too. Just getting out there and starting, because you can't ever plan for the stuff you'll need to know. You'll have an idea of what you think it's going to be like, and it will be very different.
In terms of getting new artists to work with, obviously posting on your Instagram and stuff like that can be useful, but what other advice do you reckon could be good?
Definitely going to shows, going to local events and things. That's what I did a lot at the start.
And just telling them, I
Yeah.
produce music.
Yeah, like I mean, in a bit of a segue of my really true origin of how I got into the scene and how I met everyone that I make music with was I was making dubstep, and I was doing dubstep remixes for this Perth rap group, Rich Valentine, which is, they haven't made music in a while now, but if you're in the Perth rap scene from years ago, you would know them. They did a clothing launch or something, and they invited me to just come through, and they did a collab, I think, with Banks Clothing, I think. It was one of the things. I just went to this face-to-face event, and I didn't know anyone there. I'd only chatted them on SoundCloud. I'd never even met any of these guys. And I go to this event and I know no one. But I just had that feeling of, oh, I should really get outside my comfort zone and just try and meet some people. And I struck up some chats. I met some like local artists there. Well, I said I made music, and then they showed me their music and stuff. And then from there, that was my first kind of connect. And then I went to more shows, met more people, and oh yeah, I'll come through and check out your little home studio. And then one person recommends the next,
Yeah,
and then
just
you go
leads
from there.
into
And then
each other.
after like 5 years, now it's, yeah, like my full-time thing. So I think, face-to-face interaction is really important. People really want a face to the name, and you'll
And
get
it's
a lot
free
further.
to go to some of these shows. as
Yeah,
well. Like, you just
yeah.
literally pull up and be like, yo, I make music.
Yeah,
I'd love
exactly.
to work with you sometime.
And you'll meet someone, and then if you can just say, oh, I'll record you for free or whatever, that's what I was doing. And then I'll say, oh, I'll record you for $20 an hour or something, real cheap. And then once people go, oh, this guy's actually good, and they recommend you, then you got the ball rolling. And then from there, you just keep going. It's just a slow consistency game. And then you meet more and more people, and your network expands. And then, it's like that multiplying concept where 2 people recommend you, and then 4 people, and then now it's 8. And then like now I've worked with almost 1,000 people or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously Instagram and social media is very important too, but
Just going to the shows.
yeah, going to events, meeting people.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for doing this today.
My
and letting
pleasure.
me
Thanks for
come
having
to the
me.
studio. I've definitely learned so much. Like, I think definitely with what you're talking about, with the flow state and that sense of comfort and all of these things, like I'll rewatch the tape, but I've definitely learned a lot, and there's immediately stuff I can implement
Yeah,
to
wow.
improve.
That's great.
So I really appreciate it.
Oh, my
But,
pleasure. I'm glad that it's
yeah.
helped in some way, me just yapping on. So it's great.
Yeah, and we're at the Hive Studios with Daunt Studios that you can book through
Yeah.
Daunt's Instagram, which will be linked in the description.
Oh,
And
thank you,
Best
yeah.
and Path, come
Oh,
through
too
for
kind.
real. Come through, you'll have a good time. But yeah, thank you so much, Daunt. for
My
today.
pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's been great.